Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Devotions with Emma and Sammy. We are so excited that you're here. Today, we're going to be talking about tests. It's going to be fun. So, we're going to talk about tests, but first, we're going to go over to Emma for our main idea and verse.
Yes, so our main idea is checking in with yourself, and then our verse is from 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves to see if your faith is genuine. Test yourselves. Surely you know that Jesus Christ is among you. If not, you have failed the test of genuine faith. That's our verse. Over to you, Sammy.
Thanks, Emma. So, we're going to talk about tests. Raise your hand if you like tests. I'm not a fan. I don't really like tests. But we're going to talk about how tests can actually be super beneficial for our faith. But we're going to back up a little bit. We are going to think back to high school. So think back. Let's picture ourselves in a geometry class. Let's say you just learned a unit in geometry and you're about to have a test on it. So you learn all your stuff, you study, you take the test, your teacher comes in and he or she says, "We all failed the test." That teacher would probably look at that and say, "We're going to need to relearn this because if everyone failed, it means that they didn't understand how I taught it. So let's relearn it." So maybe if they taught just by saying all the things, then they'll do more examples on the board. Or maybe if they taught with examples on the board, then they'll do something else. I'm not a math teacher, but they'll do something else. So the important thing is if a test doesn't go well, you need to change something so that you can improve in that. Because the purpose of a test is to see where you're at with the material, to see what you're doing, how you're doing, and how you should change your learning. So when we translate that to our faith, when we look at that and we say, how can we do that in our faith? It looks very similar. So like Emma read in 2 Corinthians, it says, examine yourselves to see if your faith is genuine. Test yourselves. So we need to be looking at ourselves and at our faith and seeing where we're at, seeing how we're doing, how we're learning, all that good stuff. So we're just going to focus on one area of faith today. I want you to ask yourself, have I grown in my faith in the last month? So you probably are going to answer that one of three ways. The first way could be, I don't understand the question, and that's okay. The second way, you could say, I don't think I've grown in my faith. There's nothing that comes to mind. I don't feel like I know more about God. I don't feel like I trust Him more, and that's okay. This is a perfect time to change something so that you can answer that question differently the next time you ask it. So maybe that's listening to different songs, or maybe it's reading different books, or maybe it's reading a different book of the Bible, or listening to the Bible. All great ways to change it. So that's that answer to, have I grown in my faith? The last answer, you could say, yes, I feel like I've grown in my faith a lot. I feel like I know more about God, or I listened to a song that made me just really excited to love the Lord, or I watched these devotions and I love them. These are all great ways that you've grown in your faith. This is the perfect time to say, thanks, God. Thanks for giving me that thing to grow me. Thanks for growing my faith and for growing my trust in you. Perfect time. So those are all okay answers to that question. But it's important to every now and again, look at your faith and say, how can I be growing? How can I change? How can I learn more about God? So that is just a taste of test in our faith, but super important because you want to keep growing and keep learning. That is all I have for you today. We are going to go over to Emma for our invitation.
Today is National Iced Tea Day, and I know that we have some people at Sonflower who really love iced tea. So today I'd like to invite you guys to make your own batch. It can be a regular iced tea or decaf. It can be sweet or unsweetened. It's really all up to you. So I will leave a recipe on the next slide, and it will give you step-by-step instructions on how to make iced tea. We hope you enjoy your refreshing drink, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.